The Podcasting Dead is available on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Make sure to subscribe for more podcasts. And while you're at it, drop us a like. If you want to help support the channel and have access to extra content, secret contests, and more, make sure to search for us on Patreon. Patreon.com/thepodcastingdead.
All right, and time for our second podcast of the day. I'm Justin.
Hey, I'm JP.
And we're here to talk about episode 4, season 1 of The Walking Dead World Beyond. And I think we've done this before, but warning, this is probably going to be a short podcast because short is how I would describe my attention span when I'm watching the show.
Yeah, dude, I didn't really care about anything going on tonight. I mean, that scene at the end of the episode was kind of cool.
Giving us a little insight to the experiments of the CRM.
Yeah, which there's stuff I'm curious about with that too, but I guess we'll wait till we get to the end of it. But yeah, it was a romp and stomp through a zombie high school where I guess the zombie apocalypse killed everyone in the middle of a Sadie Hawkins dance. So
apparently,
school didn't get shut down and like everyone's on lockdown like we've seen in an actual pandemic. It's like the zombies flooded the school in the middle of a dance. I would have liked to have seen a flashback episode where we actually see this dance get invaded by zombies. Now, that would have been an entertaining episode.
Oh, yeah, like give us a flashback. Like maybe as they're walking in, like we're kind of seeing flashbacks of what they think might have happened, like kids dancing, doing their thing, and then zombies just storm through the doors and the windows and rip them apart. And I guess, well, these are high school-aged kids, so we have to have a high school setting to... I really just am not digging this whole Stand By Me Walking Dead edition feel of this show. Like, I feel like they're trying to reach out to younger viewers, and it's like, dude, it's not working for your current viewers. I mean, at least not for me.
Nah, dude. I mean, I would like it fine if it was, written well and was exciting. I don't know, man. I just think it's a crappy show. I don't really have much good to say about it. Silas, I really don't care about his whole freak out thing and how he's dancing and seeing stuff. And I'm just ready for him to get ripped to shreds. I don't know. Elton's kind of getting on my nerves at this point. I guess Felix and Huck are going to get him to try to convince everyone to turn back. And maybe he will convince them to turn back. And in trying to get back, someone gets killed. And now Elton will feel like an asshole. I don't know.
Yeah,
who do you think is going to be the first person to bite the bullet before the season's up?
Either Elton or Silas.
I think Huck will probably get one of the grown-ups.
Oh, I wasn't thinking of the grown-ups. I was just thinking of our main 4. Yeah, no, Huck. I thought Huck was going to die last night when they were getting the food and she was getting,
it wouldn't surprise
sardines?
Me. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, dude, if they don't even have the balls to kill one of the kids off this season.
Well, you and I were talking about it off mic before we started this podcast. It's almost like the Walking Dead in general has forgotten. And I mean, I agree. I am not a fan of killing someone just for shock value if they're important to the story. Now, a little side character who we like, we've been around for a while, but they're not really that big of an impact on the show. I mean, they'd have been gone within the first couple episodes of old seasons of The Walking Dead.
Yeah. And I mean, sometimes it is important to just have that. Like Tyrese, I mean, he wasn't like a Carl or a Rick, but he's important enough to make you stand back and just be like, oh, man.
I think you and I were like the only people we know that actually really enjoyed that episode.
Yeah.
Because I remember people were just crapping on it. And then, like in the comments of us reviewing that episode, people just did not. Well, no. Were we podcasting at that point? I remember.
I remember covering that.
Like, I remember people hated it. And I loved it. Like, I was like, dude, I hate to see Tyrese go, but what a fitting episode. Mm-hmm. I mean, they just really pulled together the gist of his character. I mean, just the fact that he can't accept what he has to become to survive in this new world and kind of the demons he's dealing with and refusing to make that transition the way that Sasha and Rick and everybody else has. He's kind of being left behind. And for me, that's kind of what that episode symbolized was Tyrese getting left behind. Everyone's evolving and becoming these savages. And Tyrese just can't make himself be that person. It's there, but he does not want to be that person. And ultimately, that's kind of the theme of this show. If you can't adapt and become what you need to be to survive, you die.
Yeah, it was a little bit more of an artsy episode, but it worked. Sometimes they'll try to do like an art piece episode and it'll just be a big stinker. But yeah, that one was pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, man. But with back to this one though, man. Well, but no, what we were talking about was how I watched. I think it was Honest Trailers was joking, and I'm paraphrasing here. I'll get the characters and stuff wrong. But the gist of what they said was they were like, with great characters like Dale. Oh wait, okay, he's dead. With Shane. Wait, no, he died. T-Dog? Lori? Jesus, the Game of Thrones actors have better job security than Walking Dead. Like, that's what you were known for. You were just no holds bar, and now it's just like with the over on The Walking Dead. It's like, we just love these characters so much. We're not going to kill any of them except for that one chick who died in the, air quotes, finale that no one knew nor cared about. And then, Fear's kind of the same way now. And then with the world, like, I feel like we already should have had one of the teenagers get ripped apart. I feel like in I hated the first episode just in the sense it bored me about to sleep, but I got it. I understand why they did that, to show you what kind of life they lived before leaving and going out on this journey. I think by the second episode, one of the kids should have been ripped apart just horrifically, and that would have shown them what they're dealing with. Because as of right now, it's just been one Huckleberry Finn fun adventure. You know what I mean? Like, we can handle ourselves. You've been on the road for a few days. No, you cannot. Yeah. You can't even kill a zombie at this point. The only one of you that's done it, I hope, led a zombie away and into a swimming pool. But I mean, like, no, you can't. That happy-go-lucky, we're just some teenagers out. That shit annoys me. Like, I mean, I would have loved for them to have stepped out, even if these were the four the story wanted to focus on, maybe with a few more kids. And within the first few episodes, they start dropping like flies. And these kids, I mean, like, I would love them to be at the point where they're realizing they're over their heads. They can't do this. And perhaps they even need to go back. And then that's when they would find out the whole town's been wiped out. And now, oh, my God, what? That's the kind of story with these kids that could have been interesting. I thought the entire point of having even though I know the girl that plays Hope is like 23, 24, but a teenage, air quotes, cast was like, to just show how naive they are to what's really happening out there in the world. And instead, nope, they just duck and dodge, and we can handle ourselves because we've got that can-do teen attitude that gets every teen team through a Disney show. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah. No, like, they should have stepped out and been like, holy crap, Silas just got ripped in half. What the hell? These things are hard to kill, and I know that, she was trying to kill one of the zombies, but I mean, like, I don't know, man. Because it would have shown us just how, because people have complained for a while that zombies have taken a back seat, which if you read the comics, Robert Kirkman's always said the theme of the comic was that zombies weren't the real monsters, it was people. Yeah,
George Romero said the same thing about his movies.
So I don't mind the focus shifting a little off zombies. I mean, I do hate how they've become basically just a pest in the shows. But at the same time, if you were to go back and show that they're not that easy to kill, that they're more durable than we thought, it would just show us how badass our main Walking Dead characters really are. Because, they're really not that easy to kill if you're fresh to it. Kind of like back to the beginning of the original Walking Dead, where you had to take a rock and smash a zombie's head a few times, or Rick taking the baseball bat and having to take quite a few swings to put one down. Now it's just like, I got him with a pocket knife, and he takes out like 5 or 6 of them like it's nothing. Yeah. If you were to have these kids, like, really, like, we see that they're super hard to kill and not just these kids can't bring themselves to do it, it would make our others look like, wow, battle-hardened badasses.
Yeah. Well, Silas finally popped his cherry. That
was so stupid. Screw my wrench! I'm going to do exactly what you've seen in the flashback.
Yep.
I would have loved if, like, the zombie bit his fist or something.
Or if, like, he pulled up his hand and there was a chunk of skull, like, stuck in it.
Yep.
Freaking Felix had to amputate his hand in the high school. Use like one of those things they used to chop the paper, the big. Remember?
Yeah.
Like out of the faculty. I never know what you call those things.
Pretty sure I've seen a movie or something where somebody like took one of those and used it as a weapon.
It was the faculty. I think.
Was it the faculty?
I want to say it was the faculty when Jon Stewart gets turned into one of the aliens, but I could be wrong. It's probably been used a bunch of times.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I don't like just how, I mean, it's like, I don't know, man. It feels like The Walking Dead made for Disney. I mean, it's got a little gore to it, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's...
No, man. I've seen more compelling television on the CW.
Yeah. Well, that's where it feels like it really fits on, like, the CW. But I mean, like the wolves didn't even. The wolf didn't even do anything. I really
Even
was.
the wolf got bored.
Yeah, even the wolf was like, "I'm over this shit. Y'all go on, so I can eat my zombie." But I mean, like Huck, when they were in there getting food or whatever, it looked too cozy, and like the way I guess flashbacks of old Walking Dead, I was thinking, oh, something bad's about to happen. Like I thought a wolf was just gonna come through the vent and like grab her and pull her off and kill her, or she was gonna like sacrifice herself to save the kid. And it's like the one thing I do like though, and we'll say this because that's one thing I've read, and I'm not an expert on wildlife, but I've read that's one thing like Jurassic Park and a lot of these animal monster movies get wrong is like in Jurassic Park, what was it? It's like one scene where they roll up on I think it was Jurassic Park 3, they roll up and like a T-Rex is eating something and then starts chasing them. And it's like most animals aren't going to do that. If they've got a guaranteed meal right in front of them, that's guaranteed food, especially something dead that's not putting up a fight, they're not going to leave guaranteed food to go chase something else that might kill them, that might get away, and afford another predator the opportunity to come behind them and grab their food. So as stupid as all of that is, as I was watching, I was like, well, at least I kind of got that right. The wolf wasn't attacking them. It was just more in a defensive stance, like, yo, this is my food, my haul, back off. I'm not coming after you. And I know big cats might be a little different because they have a chase instinct, but whatever. Most of the time, that's what they say. Predators eating aren't worried about other things. They want to eat the food in front of them, because that's a guaranteed meal. You're not going to go buy Burger King, sit down and start eating and then go, oh, snap, there's an Applebee's across the road. To hell with this. Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Applebee's anymore.
I'm not either. I used to be back in the day, man, which I will say, not trying to get off topic too long. In the past couple of months, it's probably been about a year now, before COVID really got big, my girlfriend and I went out a couple of times with some friends to Applebee's. Food was actually really good. Huh. Well, this is Applebee's in my town.
Right.
Do y'all even still have Applebee's up here?
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah, the one in my town, my steak was actually perfect. Like, it was actually really good. I was very, very shocked. But, we go to the end of the episode, which I'm sorry to anyone that loves the show, but for me, the only part that really sucked me in was the end of the episode, where we see them doing their experiments and homegirl's just eating her sandwich while they're bringing up all these A's. I guess A's are bitten, B's are not. Because with Rick, she said, I've got a B. I never had an A. Because Negan and Gabriel would have been her A's, because those both she had zombie rigged up to bite them. Yeah. And then I guess ship them off as infected. Whereas with Rick, he's a B, he's not infected. So it really makes me wonder, like, what kind of experiments are they doing on the uninfected people? But so we're getting a little bit of that. It's crazy to me, because it's like that's the part we're all tuned in for, is the connection of the CRM and the way it kind of circles back to Rick. Why are we getting little bits of that and whole episodes of these just happy-go-lucky teenagers that we really don't care? I honestly think the only two that I really give a damn about is Hope and Elton. I like both of them. I think they're interesting characters. But which one do you think's going to die first? If they even have the stones to kill one of them.
Yeah, man. I guess Silas would be the easy answer, but one thing that kind of had me scratching my head. So we see in that as the doctor's observing like the test subject, she's got that picture on her desk, and one of the guys in the picture is the first zombie we see with the red beard.
Right.
So I mean, he must have got like bitten by like just some freak occurrence, right? I mean, surely she's not gathering up the best and brightest minds left in the world to just use them as zombie test subjects, right?
That's what I'm thinking.
Because that'd be weird to be like, all right, we've got this brilliant doctor in this community in Portland. Let's scoop him up and big surprise, pal. We're gonna get you bit and watch you turn and study you.
Wouldn't you do that unless the study is
like cognitive or something?
Right, like maybe they're kind of back to season 3 of The Walking Dead, where Milton was doing those experiments to see if they retained anything of their former self. Maybe they're thinking smarter people maybe have a chance to still be in there somewhere versus, because I mean, I'm like you, like when you just go round up random people that you find barely surviving, like out in the woods, and just have them bitten, and so that's the only thing I could come up with. Perhaps they're just seeing how bright minds if there's a difference in intellect or brain power when it comes to fighting this.
It's so stupid if that's what they do. I mean,
I've thought that too. Well, it's just like I've always said, if we were in a zombie apocalypse situation and someone like highly intelligent, like a doctor, whatever, you ain't never going out on supply runs. You know what I mean? You are going to be in a padded room with a lock.
Yeah.
I mean, we're keeping you safe like you're the, what is it? What do the Knights Templar protect or supposed to have protected?
The
Holy Grail.
Holy Grail.
I'd treat a doctor or someone with a bright mind like that, like the Holy Grail in the apocalypse. Like, you are too important to be just killed off. So
probably what happened, the CRM was exploring Georgia. They found like an old manuscript of the lab notes Milton left behind, and they idolized Milton. They've probably got like a portrait of him somewhere.
I'm not going to lie now, not the whole portrait and idolizing thing, but if they were basing their experiments off of notes found in Woodbury, now that to me would be pretty dope. That'd be a pretty cool little tie-in.
But it seems like any doctor would look at him and be like, this guy was stupid.
Right, I do agree with that. I mean, if they're legit scientists, they would look at the handwritten notes and be like, all right, this was written by a guy who wanted to be a scientist. Yeah. But I don't know. It's still data.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still actual data. So, I mean, scientist or not, it's still, scientists analyze writings by primitive peoples and use that as science, so it still could kind of be in the same light. And you got to think how far in the future this is. I mean, this was found getting close to a decade from like close to a decade ago. And I don't know if it's that long, but between 6 and 10 years ago. So, I mean, it is kind of ancient history to them.
Do you think we'll find out that Eugene is secretly running the CRM?
That would be
a future cool Eugene, too. Old man Eugene.
Dude, I mean, see stuff like that. Well, they're not ahead of The Walking Dead, though. See, that's the thing. If they were ahead of The Walking Dead, that would be cool. Like, plot twist.
So is World Beyond pretty parallel with The Walking Dead?
World Beyond, I believe, is happening at the same time.
Is that okay? That's okay.
Yeah, I believe it's supposed to be going in the same timeline. And you got Fear is like a billion years behind it. But we were talking about, if you didn't get a chance, we did a review of this week's episode of Fear the Walking Dead, and I'll go ahead and give slight spoilers. While we didn't find it to be nearly as good as the first and second episode, we didn't hate it. But on that, we talk about how it'd be so cool because you've got so much potential there. Fear the Walking Dead, you've got this interconnected universe. And let's face it, the only reason any of us are watching The World Beyond is because we're just trying to keep up with the Walking Dead universe. Okay, you've got all this potential. I mean, what if kids around the corner and the episode ends with an aged Victor Strand steps around the corner and it's like, I'm Victor Strand. That's all I need to say. My extremely elegant voice is all that is required for you to trust me. I don't know why, but I trust this guy.
Yeah.
Like, that would be so cool. Like, and then we'd be questioning. And I mean, I'm sure the argument would be, well, then we know he wouldn't die. But we've said on our Fear podcast, The Walking Dead here lately has no problem letting you know months ahead of time when they're going to take someone out or when they're leaving the show. So I would be okay with that because there's so much discussion to be had. And, oh, man, like, give him a scar down his face, just something that makes us question and what keeps us sucked in. Well, now we want to know why is Victor Strand alone? What happened to the rest of the crew? Are they dead? Why has he got a scar? Where did he get this bionic arm? Why is his eye glowing? Something.
They're traveling through the Midwest and see King Ezekiel Exotics, jungle safari ranch,
Welcome. I've collected all the tigers left on the world and created a tiger exhibit.
How great would that be?
Other than when the walkers crowd the fences, it's actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
I mean, just something like that. It ain't got to be but with Fear, you have that potential because they're in the past. And then we see Alicia could step out now, older. I mean, she kind of started where they did. I mean, she was like this teenager, and now she's a badass. But whatever. And I mean, an older Alicia that could just, say, you guys remind me so much of me 7 years ago.
Or we find out that's where Madison went to,
God, that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Like Madison steps out and is, just, do you think she should have like the Dwight thing? She's half burnt.
Oh, no, not her pretty face.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, it's already been done with Dwight. We don't need another burnt face character.
Yeah, we find out that Madison got with one of Negan's wives and he melted her face too.
But I mean, just so much potential. And I just feel like, I don't know, man. I just feel like there's so much wasted potential with the show. Like, I think about if I was reading this show in a comic book form, it would be boring as hell.
Yeah, I wouldn't be into it.
We read the Walking Dead comics, and they were great. And I mean, it doesn't have to be action. It's just I don't know. I mean, the fact that these kids get a zombie in a room and they just like duck under them. I don't know. And then he's got like the wrench, and it's like, I don't want to kill him. Just went through that with Morgan.
Right.
I was a monster before. I don't want to be a monster again. Oh my God, this thing wants to eat your freaking face, dude. You're not a monster. It's just. It feels like they're trying to be way more convoluted and deeper than they need to be.
Yeah, dude, it's just not good. It's just not good.
And then you drag out these backstories so long, too, that like by the time we finally find out why Silas beat this kid half to death, or whoever he beat half to death, be it the person he's caring for him, whatever, we don't care. That's what I loved about Lost. Lost has plenty of narrative flaws, but at least when the episodes started and you got flashbacks, that you got kind of that whole situation in that episode. If you were watching one of Sawyer's flashbacks, it didn't take 2 or 3 episodes of flashbacks to bloody hands and ambulances. Like, you saw a little bit of it. Later in the episode, you saw more of it, and then you kind of saw how that played out. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, after that episode, you were a little bit closer to Sawyer than you had been before because you learned his tragic backstory, or you learned what makes this person why they are, why Jack feels the need to step up and take charge, or why Kate's so elusive. You learned about these characters, and you didn't have to wait 5 episodes to get the information in the sense of the way the flashbacks were spread out. But I don't know. I really want this thing to pick up, dude. I feel like we Fear the Walking Dead season 5 bored us so much that we came up with the Barn of Pleasures, which, if you're new to this podcast, is just this very erotic barn where all of the Walking Dead universe goes to basically have mass orgies. And yes, that sounds ridiculous, but that's how bad we were bored during Fear the Walking Dead. Now Fear the Walking Dead, knock on wood, has got my attention, and I'm enjoying it. And I feel like with Barn of Pleasures, with the World Beyond, what are we going to create next?
Well, we can't do an orgy since the characters are mostly underage.
True.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I just want to wake up from this nightmare and have it.
What if it's like the barn of courting? Welcome to the barn of courting. You're too young to step into the barn of pleasures, but you can sit here and hold hands and watch movies together and maybe give little kisses on the cheek. That would make Ezekiel sound like an even bigger pervert.
Yeah, it would. I don't know, man.
I mean, what would it be? The cafeteria of curiosities?
I can't call it.
These kids need some Carol in their life. I mean, granted, every child Carol cares for ends up dead.
I would like to see her shoot all of these kids in the back of the head. I would be fine with that. Let's just
not Hope and Elton. I like Hope and Elton. Silas and her sister. I really don't. I don't care about Silas, and I don't really care about Hope's sister all that much. They're just not. And I mean, Hope. I really want to say that it's not even so. I mean, Hope. It's just I've always liked those. I mean, she's a very cut and dry, done a million times character. Mm-hmm. Oh, she's a little rebel, and she's got, reason why, whatever. But I like Hope, and I do like Elton. I like Elton's outlook on everything, and I like to him, he's kind of like Eugene. Uh-huh. Just a little more well-equipped with the social skills.
Yeah.
But I don't really, and I do like Felix, and I do like Huck. If the next few episodes focus on just Huck and Felix, I might actually like it more. But I'm just tired of the Disney Channel BS, man.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But I see they're doing a Talking Dead next week. Maybe there'll be some big announcement, or maybe a big character is going to die. I don't know.
I don't know. They'll kill off like Huck, who I do like, but also is, the most side character on the show. Mm-hmm. Like, the tragic end of Huck. Even though we didn't really do anything to make you love her, she just kind of was there. But we killed her, and we expect you to be sad.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. We'll see. Expectations are low at this point for me, anyway. But
on the bright side, pessimists usually are never disappointed. So,
yeah.
You keep your expectations low. It won't hurt your feelings when it's boring. It'll be just what you expected it to be.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. Let us know your thoughts. If we're wrong, maybe we're just not looking at this in the artistic way that we should be. Maybe there's something more to it. But either way, I'm not lying or exaggerating when I say I sit down and I have to basically make myself sit in front of the TV and watch the show.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's just JP and I had such high hopes. If you're a longtime listener, I'm sure you remember. If you're new, you can go back to some of our old podcasts, which are all archived on our YouTube channel. We were very hopeful for this. We were like, man, 2 seasons, only 10 episodes each season. It's got to do with the CRM. Like, this is going to somehow tie right into Rick and kind of connect everything. And, oh, man, we're so stoked for this show. First episode, JP was like, dude, what the hell? And I was trying to be hopeful. You know, I'm like, man, I get why they did it, like, blah, blah, blah. And then by the second episode, I'm like, all right, it could have picked up a little bit right here. And then the third episode, I'm like, it'll pick up tonight. And it didn't. And then, like, last night, I'm like, it'll pick. Okay, it's not picking up.
Yeah, if anything, they slowed it down this week. I mean, I was just like, Jesus, man. They interrupted a great binge I was doing on Action Bronson Watches Ancient Aliens, so I was even that much more pissed off.
They interrupted me watching the World Series.
Yeah, there's that too.
I mean, I gave up the World Series for you guys, and I'm pulling for the Dodgers, even though I'm not really a Dodgers fan. I'm a big Mookie Betts fan because he was with my team, the Red Sox, and then we stupidly traded him instead of just giving one of the greatest ball players of today's generation any amount of money he wanted to stay on the team. So I'm there cheering for Mookie. So I gave up watching Mookie for this show. And then instead, now I'm just watching a bunch of kids. I don't know, man. I feel like Carl would have beat the hell out of all 4 of these kids. You know what I mean? Mm. And again, I'm not expecting them to be badasses this quick, but that's the point. That's what they're missing. You could have took the show back to more horror roots with these kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have made this scary or at least thrilling in the sense of these kids. Like I said, the whole thing should have been they get out, a kid or 2 dies, and you could have made the group a little bigger if you needed to, but they realize how horrific the world is. They don't have this happy-go-lucky attitude. It's like, oh my God, we can't do this. And they go back, and now everyone at their town is dead. And it's like, oh my God, now we don't have a choice. And they're reluctant, but they're having to push on to find their dad because it's really their only option.
Yeah.
And they're terrified, and they're, just not ready for this. And every new day is a new struggle and a closer, brush with death, and just, attitudes diminishing, and, people doubting. I just, oh my God, you could have, what?
No.
Why do we need Stand By Me in the Walking Dead universe? I mean, it's just waiting for one of them to say, hey, you want to go see a dead body?
Right.
But either way, let us know what we're missing about this show and why we should love it. Or maybe some things you've heard about future episodes that might make us like it. Because I assure you, we are big Walking Dead fans, but I just want to like this show, and I can't.
Yeah, they don't make it easy.
Not one bit. But either way, JP, let's just for fun. JP and I like to rate episodes after we watch them. Keep in mind that in the Walking Dead Season 10 finale, you gave that one a 10, didn't you? No, was it that one you gave? What did you give? No, you gave the episode 1 a Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't even like the finale that much. I mean, I liked it, but it wasn't that great. Yeah.
Yeah, no, maybe not
but
that
no,
one.
the Fear premiere was awesome.
Fear premiere.
The Fear premiere, yeah.
Yeah, you gave that one 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5, dude.
What'd you give last week? 4 out of 5?
Either 3 or 4, something like that.
Because you liked the Victor Strand story.
I did like it, man. It wasn't a great episode, but yeah, it was all right.
But so let's just for fun, we rate them out of 5 stars, or we should say 5 fingers. We put our hands under the table so we can't see what the other one's voting. Okay. And be completely unbiased. Ready?
Yeah.
Set, go.
I
gave it a 1. You gave it a 0.
I'd go negative
stars?
if I could. I'd go negative. It was not good.
Harsh. 0 out of 5 stars.
Sucks. This show sucks, man. This needs to just be like a belated April Fool's joke.
It's like, ha, here's the real show, and it's just horrific.
It's stinky. It's awful.
But if you enjoy podcasts, please consider checking out our channel. If nothing else, give this podcast a like and again, subscribe. And if you enjoy podcasts, we also do Walking Dead What Ifs on Fridays. We do Weird Wednesdays, where we talk about weird stuff that ranges from the paranormal to conspiracy. We've done a lot of conspiracy recently. I think maybe we'll go back to paranormal for an episode this Wednesday,
right.
Unless you've got something in the pipe that you just really want to get out there.
No.
And then we have a Patreon, which we're for next to no money. You get extra podcasts, and we haven't had a secret contest in a month or so, but we're going to get back to the contest and stuff. So Check us out, and thank you so much for listening. I'm Justin.
I'm JP.
And we're the Podcasting Dead.